Welcome to Worship Tutorials. I'm joined today by two friends from the great state of Oklahoma, from Life.Church. They're going to teach us how to play songs from their new album. Chavi and Jordan are electric guitar players at Life.Church and recorded parts on this album. And so they're going to teach us how to play the song Redemption Has Come.
Hey guys, Chavi Solis here from Life.Church Worship. We are in the key of B, but I am tuned down a half step. We're going to start here on the 5th fret of the G string. This whole first part of the riff is going to be on the G string. We're going to start on the 5th fret, and we're gonna pick what is the 8th note? We're going to pick 8th notes here. Starting on the 5th fret, down to the 3rd fret, a little pickup on the 5th fret to the 7th fret, and then we're going to jump to the B string. 8th fret, 10th fret, 11th fret. Walk it back down, and then slide from the 9th fret on the G string down to the 5th fret. Now let me play through it slow. So now we're going to play through that twice, and at the end of the second phrase, we're going to finish the riff on the 1 up high. So if this is the 1 down low on the 5th fret of the G string, we're going to finish on the 1 on the 13th fret of the B string. So that's going to sound like this. Let's go through the tone of that intro part. So I'm going to turn on some reverb, of course. This is kind of I think this reverb that I'm using is the rise setting, so you really got to dig into it to get the reverb to kind of come out. And we'll also put on some tape delay here. Okay, so we'll tap in our tempo here. It's 75. We're just going to kind of guesstimate how close we are to 75. We'll just have just a little bit of drive on at the very top of the song. Once the band kicks in, we'll kick in our higher gain setting with the 385 here. Okay, so the initial intro, bridge pickup for sure. Get that thing screaming. Then the full band would kick in here. That's when you turn on your higher gain and just play the same riff. Don't let your E string ring out like that. We're going to be out in verse 1. For the first half of verse 1, we're going to come back in on the second half, again with the lower gain setting. We're going to play that same riff. I do like to switch pickups somewhere on either on the neck or that, what is that, 4th position? Or switch up to like the neck position. And you can palm mute slightly as we come back in on that second half of the verse. You can kind of be dynamic when you get to that higher stuff.
Hey guys, my name's Jordan from Life.Church Worship, and I'm here to teach you guys the guitar parts for the song called Redemption Has Come. So, jumping right into it here, we'll start with the intro part. This main hook line will carry through the intro, through the first verse, the turnaround, the second verse. It sort of carries throughout almost the entire song. So just jumping right into it here, the part starts here on the 4th fret of the G string on this B, and then down to the 2nd fret, the A, and then up to the 6th fret here, and then the 8th fret. Walk up from the 11th and then 13th and 14th fret. So, and then walk it back down, 13, 11, and slide back down to the 1 here, the B. So I'll play the part here. So those are the notes. The actual part with the tone and with the effects in context, we're using sort of a trim picking. It's meant to sort of sit behind the other guitar part that's playing the same line. So it's sitting kind of lower in the mix, but it's just thickening up that main hook line. So for tone, for this part, using just a light overdrive, a delay, and a bigger reverb. The reverb is not full wet. There's just enough of the dry signal to get some of the attack from the part, so that it gives it a bit of an edge. And so I'll show you the part in context. Again, we are like trim picking, so fast picking this part and just sliding up through every note. So starting here from the top. So ending there on that high B, which is on the 16th fret. So that's the main part of the song that will start at the intro, and it'll be after the first chorus as well on that turnaround, and also at the end of the song on the outro. And so next, we'll show you the chorus part.
Now, going into the chorus, you're gonna have to jump down to these lower chords. I like to stack the 5th on these, so we'll play 3rd fret on the E string, 3rd fret A string, 2nd fret of the D string. Just gives it like that, a little more bottom end there. Then we'll move up to the 5th fret on the E string, 5th fret on the A, 3rd fret on the D. And then we'll jump down and just play our F power chord. So that's gonna sound like. And now this second pass of that chorus, we're gonna do a double, or we're gonna do 2 hits on that one chord. So it's gonna go from the top of that chorus. Double hits here. Do that again. Now this chord's gonna be slightly different. We're still gonna play our 2nd fret on the D string, 3rd fret on the A string, but our E string is gonna be open. And then we're gonna still jump back up to our F power chord. Hit that thing 4 times. So that last pass will sound like this. 4 hits. And then we'll jump back into the hook. Okay, so let's go over the tone of chorus 1. So slight overdrive. I'm using the steel string here. Same delay, same reverb. And we're just gonna hit some quarter notes on those same chords. And then from there, we'll be back into the hook with the higher gain. Switch down to your bridge pickup. And now the hook is going to be shorter there. We're just going to play 1 pass through, so you will end on that high 1 again.
So the chorus part is going to be sort of an alternating picking part that's going to start on the high E string here on the 11th fret, so this E flat, and then the open B string just droning behind it. So it's going to start there, and it's going to walk up to the 12th fret, which is the E, and then up to the F sharp which is on the 14th fret here. So. That's essentially the part. So in context with effects, so it's the same effects as the intro and verse parts. Big reverb, light overdrive, a little bit of delay. So here's the part. So that will repeat another time, and that's the part that plays through the first chorus there. So the turnaround part will just be the back half of that intro line. So it's going to end on the high B instead of the low B. So I'll show you in context here. And that's the turnaround.
Yeah, we're going to keep that same tone through verse 2. Now, on the second half of verse 2, we are going to play the hook in the higher octave up. But I'll just play through all of verse 2 and show you where that changes. So from there, I'll clean up my stuff so I can teach you this part. When we slide up to that high one, this is going to be on the 13th fret of the B string. Then we're going to go down to the 11th fret of the B string. Slide back up from the 13th to the 15th. 17th fret. We're going to hop up to the E string. 15th fret, 17th, 18th, and walk back down. So it's exactly like the low octave. We're just playing in an octave up. So I'll play through that real quick. And we are going to end on the higher octave again. And now it's a big jump to get back to those chords. But I believe in you.
So for verse 2, that's going to just be that main hook line that started from the intro, and then we played on the turnaround, and that will just carry through the entire second verse all the way into the second chorus. And so again, that's the part that starts here on the 4th fret of the G string, so on this B, and I'll just play it in context here. So 1, 2, 3, second verse, and...
But whenever we get to the second chorus, we're going to play those chords with a little bit more rhythm. So we want to try to follow, similar to what the drums are doing. Same chords, but we're going to play them like this. Open string. So same chords, same tone. You're going to keep that high gain tone. We're just going to play a little more rhythmic in chorus 2.
So chorus 2, that part is going to be the exact same as the first chorus, but energy-wise, we're full band, everything's full on, but that part will remain the same. And it's just carrying. It's not really like an out front lead part, but it's carrying like a bed underneath everything else that's happening just to give texture. So I'll start the part just so you remember where we're at, and we'll move on to the bridge after that. So here it is. So 1, 2, 3, and chorus, and...
And now when we get to the bridge, again, I'm going to switch up to what I think is a softer pickup, somewhere around the neck, middle, something like whatever you got. And we're just going to play some octaves here. So we're going to start with the open E string, and then the 2nd fret of the D string. And we're going to just keep those octaves. 1st fret of the E string, 3rd fret of the D string, up to the 3rd fret on the E, 5th fret on the D. Repeat that. Now on the 2nd pass, you're going to finish the riff on it's a D, it's the 5th fret of the A string, 7th fret of the G string. So the whole pass sounds like this. Hold that for 2 bars. D. And now we're going to play the whole bridge. We will pick it up about halfway through, and we'll start hitting 8th notes. And the tone for that, again, it's going to be very similar to the previous tone. When we first get into the bridge, we're going to keep just our lower drive on. And as we get into the 8th notes, you can turn on that higher gain.
So for the bridge, we're going to start here in sort of an E shape on the 9th fret, alternating between the D, A, and G strings. So I'll show you. It's kind of an E shape and kind of like an F sharp, if you've ever played like this F sharp, that shape coming off of an E, if you just slide that up here. So up here on the 9th fret, I'll play the part through slowly so you can just hear the full part, and then I'll talk through mechanically what's happening. So starting here on the B on the 9th fret. So that is the first half of that part. And as you can see, so it starts on the D string and then jumps up to the G string and walks up. So, and then dropping the pinky down to catch this line. So that's the first half of that part. So in context with effects, light overdrive, delay, not the big reverb. So I've turned the big reverb off. So it's just going to be this. So there is a light reverb on, but here it is. So for the second half of the bridge, it's going to be that same part, but an octave up. So think of it as in almost a D chord shape. So if you think of the D chord, but up here on this B, so on the 12th fret. So that sort of shape. And if you remember that lower part starting here, so. And then we're jumping up an octave. So right here. So. same part, just an octave up. So I'll play it at speed here with effects. So at tempo, it would be like something like this.
Then from there, we're going to go into chorus 3. And chorus 3, it's slightly different from chorus 2 in that we're just going to do our diamonds again, our single hits. So that'll sound like this. So we still want to keep the high gain, but we're just going to diamond those chords.
And that chorus part, again, will be the exact same as the previous 2 choruses. So all we're doing is just kicking on the bigger reverb, and it's going to go from that higher octave bridge part straight into that chorus part. So I'll show you that now.
Then we're going to switch back to the hook for the outro.
And then from there, we'll just jump to the outro, which is the same hook line that we've played on the intro, turnarounds, and leading into this outro here. So starting here on the 4th fret of the G string. So and so that's the part that we'll play through a couple of times and just end on that high B. So that ends and just rings out with the band, and that's it. Those are the parts for Redemption Has Come.